Can you please repeat that? Can cause a great deal of stress. Too much time is required to complete it, and it impacts free time and sleep. Too much homework can cause stress in a student and lead to health issues in the body and mind. Homework-related anxiety and stress can affect students' work negatively in school. For example, if I'm very stressed at home because due to too much homework, I have no time to do anything else. So I have no time to relax my body. As well as if I spend all my time doing homework, I'll have no time to sleep. And without sleep, I'll sleep in school. And if I sleep in school, that affects me negatively. So I am unable to study in school. Stress causes lack of sleep, slipping grades, fatigue, unhealthy eating habits, depression, and many more factors. In the film Race to Nowhere, the people working on the film interviewed multiple students, and they said that too much homework had caused them depression, which can lead to suicide, and they were really unhappy with the amount of homework that people were giving them. With too much homework, you take away the time the student has to socialize with people. As my brother quoted, he said that homework is work that the teacher gives you when they don't care about you. The teacher gets time in the weekend while you're doing their homework. It's practically obsolete. The teacher gets to go out and do whatever the hell they want. They can watch movies, they get to go out shopping, but you have to stay home. You are unable to socialize with people, and you have to do your homework, or else you might have slipping grades due to the lack of understanding in class. Family time is also decreased, which can add more family conflict. Hang out with friends is decreased, so that means there is less socializing. Staying up late and doing homework takes away a student's time to sleep. Sleep deprivation is a very bad thing for a student. Our average student should get around 8 to 10 hours of sleep every single day. With too much homework, it starts to lead to more hours of homework and less hours of sleep. Too much homework, too much school, you get more school and you get more homework. With more homework, technically that's considered more school as well. So you do studying for say 8 hours and you only get 4 hours of sleep. That doesn't seem fair. Not enough sleep can leave a student tired, and at school they might focus less or fall asleep during class. Then the student gets in trouble for falling asleep. Homework is taking away a child's childhood. No one wants that, do they? A child's childhood is precious to them. As a student, you don't want to socialize with your friends, you don't want to talk to people, and you're going to want to have time to sleep, have time to play, have time to do whatever you want. But homework is taking that away from children. On the other hand, in terms of advantages, there are 2 points that we can take from homework. Exercising the student's understanding of class and additional score at school. Every student has a different speed, right? You have students who are very fast and they pick up things really easily, or the average student who has a good pace and a good momentum. But then you have slow students who don't really pick up a lot in class. They think, it's not that they're not paying attention, it's that their capabilities are not to the extent that they can learn everything in just a second, just in a click. They can't do that. And students like that need homework, right? Because say we're in mathematics class and the teacher gives a formula that we have no understanding of. If the teacher gives homework like this, that is good for the student because they don't have the understanding in class, because if they give formulas and we don't understand the formula and the teacher has explained it to us many times and we're that one student. You're a teacher, right? You have to cater to many students. You're not just one person. And if we cater to just one person, we will be unable to cater to the rest. And this is why homework can help students, because it gives them a better understanding of homework, a better understanding of what they learn in class, as well as they can ask their family members, their siblings, or even Google what they did not understand. Homework is good for the student. So in a nutshell, by doing homework, students not only can understand can also exercise their understanding in the lesson, but also can have additional score for homework. However, a lot of homework can bring some harm for the student, such as stress. Therefore, doing homework is actually good it's a good thing for us. But it won't be good if we have too much of it. Thank you.
so much. I'd like to call upon the second speaker, 1247. Name your topic.
Pros and cons of love.
Say again.
Pros and cons of love.
Good luck.
A wise old man once said, everything must have at least a pro or a con, unless it's nothing. Yes, I agree with him. And today I'll be talking about the pros and cons of love. I was myself experienced love. At that point of time, I never understood it. And I only asked myself, what is love when I was 10? One of the first reasons was because of holding hands. And you may ask, what's wrong with holding hands? Remember, everything must have at least a pro or a con. So, if a hand fits perfectly with your loving couple, especially the side, you know you're meant to be with her or him. And when you feel fear, when you're afraid, you're frightened, and when your beloved puts a hand right across your shoulder, you feel safer and you feel more comfortable. And there's this kind of feeling, especially men when they protect their girlfriend, they like, yes, protect them. So, not the con, and in their absence, you feel like you're really incomplete, you're lost, you're lonely, and especially after the breakups, you can't find your way of life, and you only can find it back until you find another one. And number two, when you're sitting alone in your house, bored out of mind, so boring, it's full of boredom, and there will be only one person to fill the whole empty void, and that's the love of your life. They will take time out of their busy schedule and make an honest effort to give you company. And their presence in your life will always take you. So you just look at them and that's all you need. So you don't do movies and all that, just watch them. And here's the con. If they live far, like in another country or city, you'll find it harder to cope with their absence. And talking on the phone and video conferencing won't satisfy your desire to look at their faces and listen to their voice. You might find yourself munching on chips, watching movies as you think about them. Most likely, the relationship won't be able to last for a long haul. Number three, moving in. Moving in with each other is a huge step in any relationship, and it's considered a milestone for a couple. It shows that both people are devoted to each other and have gained a complete understanding of each other's wants and needs. Con, the fact about moving is that it can get messy, literally messy. So it's like everything is like after a tsunami, and there's clothes on the floor and chips on the floor and rubbish on the floor and so much rubbish on the floor, and you may be a clean freak and you're like, why are there so many rubbish? Why? And your beloved like, what? Just chill a day. Just throw it. Messy, and it's like, oh, you go everywhere. The vegetable was half eaten and it was thrown into the dustbin, and then all the vegetables like flying in the air, and some even stuck on the fan. And constant arguments and few resolutions later, one person may be moving out. So, in my conclusion, try to avoid some of this con and try to get a clean person, not get a messy person mess up your whole place when you're moving in. And it's like an earthquake or something just happened. And so, at this point, I'll say thank you for listening to this.
Thank you so much. Oh, I didn't know about the scattering rubbish and all. Let's call on the next speaker, 3807.
My topic for today, ladies and gentlemen, is Why should Malaysia aim to become a zero waste country by 2030? Can I start?
Yes, anytime.
Why? Why? Out of 6 contestants, I got chosen to get zero waste. Why is that? I could have gotten something about my favorite food or something like that, but I got zero waste. Now, why is that, ladies and gentlemen? I'm only 16 years old. What do I know about waste? What do I know about Malaysia? I haven't experienced life much enough. So, ladies and gentlemen, why is that? Number one, it has numerous of impressive good results and effects for Malaysia. Number one, it can help Malaysia to develop into a better nation. As you all know, Malaysia is a developing country. It is not fully developed like Singapore and America. But us, even though we are still far behind, we can still strive for success. Example, for Vision 2020. Yes, 3 years later, it is not achieved yet, in my opinion. But in 2030, we can. But wait a second, guys. Why 2030? Why not 2040, 2050? Or why not 2017 itself? I think that is because 13 years is the right amount and adequate amount of time that us Malaysians can transform our country into a zero waste country. But wait, after I've gotten this far, like 1 minute, what is zero waste? Is it no rubbish on the floor? Is it no rubbish bins anymore? Let me think. I think, in my opinion, zero waste means everyone is working together to try to get rid of waste in the most safe way as possible. Such as successful countries like Japan. Japan has a near close to zero rate of no rubbish on the floor, and it's literally very conducive. They're very successful, and by that, they are able to transfer the funds that they use not to destroy waste, not to clear up waste, but they use the funds to build and invest in technologies and science and stuff, such as the bullet train. We could have done that too, ladies and gentlemen. But why couldn't we? Was it because of politics? Is it because of the economy? Or is it because ourselves? We can all change. If we have the desire to change, I'm pretty sure we all can. Next, we can have a healthier nation. My next point is healthier nation because I look at all of us, we are diverse. This diversity combined together, we can make our country a better place. Not only for ourselves. In 13 years, I will be 29 years old. And I might even be a parent. So I want what is best for my children. As long as my children get to enjoy a peaceful, safe environment to live in, I know that I have done my duty as a Malaysian. But it's not only one person, it's the entire country which must ensure zero waste. You can all start from your home. How do you throw rubbish? You throw it in a bag, in a bin, and you clear it up somehow. Not by burning it. Obviously not. Ladies and gentlemen, my conclusion for today is, I end this with a simple quote by Shannon Thompson. She once said, "We cannot take back the past, but we can fight for the future." So starting from today, if we can all work together and fight for the future, and we aim and look ahead, I'm pretty sure we all can open up our minds so we can build up ourselves and the nation and be united. Unity through the diversity. And through diversity, we can have hope. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, let's call upon 4930.
The pros and cons of tuition.
Whenever you're ready.
To quote the great Ronald Reagan, the 40th President of the United States, he once said that as long as there are final exams in schools, there would be period in schools. And however, I see that this is no longer relevant. This no longer exists because of an aspect that we've introduced to our students these days, which is tuition. Now, what exactly is tuition? We have to ask ourselves that. And the point of tuition is to help and further benefit children who fall behind in their studies. Children who might not be able to understand the teachers, whether it be because they talk too fast, or whether because the child isn't able to cope up with the speed. And as we have to recognize that the whole point of a school is to teach everyone as a whole, not just focus on one person. And what tuition does is it focuses on one person in order to help educate that person in order to get onto the same level as everyone else, or perhaps even further than that. And so tuition benefits those who are falling behind, those who need help in their exams, those who need help with their vision, those who need help to understand what is happening in school, what they are learning. And maybe it's just that they need extra help to connect the dots, whether because the teacher are too vague when they told them this is a result of this, but they aren't able to draw the connection. And tuition helps do that. And however, I believe that when you have tuition involved, right? When you have, after an 8-hour day at school, and all you want to do is relax, and you've been given a pile of homework, a mountain of homework by the teacher, and at the end of the day, you just want to relax. You want to be able to sleep, you want to be able to play with your own games, you want to be able to talk with your parents maybe, but then you have tuition. 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe 1 hour. But I see that that 1 hour is still a big thing. Why? Because I see that when you have these teachers knowing that this tuition exists, I believe that teachers will become complacent. The teachers no longer have incentive to teach as hard, to work as hard, knowing that the students go to tuition. There is no reason for them to teach this and put so much effort to teaching because their students already attend tuition. They already learn everything they need to learn from tuition. So there isn't really any reason for them to be teaching their students. And the thing with that is that even the brightest students in Malaysia, their parents still send them to tuition because the parents want them to get ahead of everyone else in the class, even though they're already ahead. And therefore, there isn't really a need to send your children to school anymore. Because now basically all parents send their children to tuition, they already learn everything from it. And another point is that it puts a lot of pressure on children. And an example would be in Singapore, where last year there has been an increase from the year before that, where the year before that in 2015, the amount of deaths of student suicides was 406. Last year it was 429. This is an obvious problem because when you have hundreds of children committing suicide because they have too much pressure on their studies, because they feel the pressure in order to become perfect, because they feel the need that if they don't do well in their exams, if they don't get that A or that A star, then they're disappointed in the families. And I believe that this is a problem. And I believe that tuition, it's not just tuition, but tuition adds along to it as well. There is already a lot of pressure on children to excel. There is a lot of pressure on children in order for them to do well, to work hard, and parents find great treasure in the children. And they find great joy in telling other people that, look, my child got an A star in this, I am really proud of him. And a lot of the times I recognize is that when you have these parents who are so proud of their children, wanting to show off their children, wanting to say that, hey, my son did so well in the exam, I'm so proud of him, the children don't want to let the parents down. So they work hard, they go to their tuition, they keep working so hard and to the point that they forget about themselves completely. They forget about their mental health. They forget about the point that where if you work too hard, they might not be able to cope with it. And especially in a trend today where there is an increase in cyberbullying, which puts a lot of pressure on children. When you add tuition to that as well, it's sometimes too overwhelming. So at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves the question, what do we value more? Getting great exam results or our lives? Because as I've just told you, that tuition can have a lot of pressure on these children. And I've also told you that when you have tuition in place, it disincentivizes parents. It disincentivizes parents from sending their children to school because there's no longer any point, and it disincentivizes teachers from teaching us so much. Therefore, those are the pros and cons of tuition.
Thank you so much. Next, I'd like to call upon 6210.
Why schools need more human interaction activities and this.
Whenever you're ready.
For thousands of years, in order to reach the heavens, we have created machines like airplanes and hot air balloons. And in doing so, we have gotten one step closer together. You see, on that plane taking off, there are hundreds of people landing on different countries and meeting a different people to share this one common thing called the human experience. Let us not forget that historical moment when society was formed. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and honorable judges. My mentor said, in order to analyze a problem, let's first analyze the root. Who will be influenced if they attend these human interaction activities? Youngsters, right? But what is the one thing that influenced them so badly that they need to attend these human interaction activities? And here is why I'll prove to you why schools need more human interaction activities. The answer lies right here. You see, it's ironic. These touchscreens made us lose touch with others and made us more selfish and separate than ever. You see, Facebook, the renowned social network, is now renowned for its anti-socialism because no matter how many friend lists we have, now we are friendless. In the world of so many iPhones, iPads, iMacs, so many I's, there's not enough us's and we's. You see, technology has made us more separate, and we are all alone. And whenever we want to determine our self-worth, we will depend on followers and likes. Have you ever seen the new generation meeting up face-to-face in real life, eating nasi lemak and probably a nice cup of teh tarik? No. Whenever they want to meet up face-to-face, they ask each other what time they want to Skype. And now there is something growing like a cancer in schools called Google Classroom. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Lessons and class collaboration through a computer screen. How many more conversations must we have that includes abbreviations and emoticons? Our chats have been reduced to Snapchats and WhatsApps. Newspapers are now used as toilet papers, and online news are proven no better. Instead of posting ideas on novels and magazines, now we post them on YouTube and Instagram. ADD is now on the rise higher than 4G LTE. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are still listening to me, then congratulations, you still have a choice. You still have time to avert yourself from this social monstrosity. But these, my friends, we cannot autocorrect like the keyboard do for us in our phones. We have to do it ourselves. Youngsters striving for a second chance should go to main industries of knowledge, like schools. You see, school is the main part of your life. You can't outrun it, you can't escape it. It is always the main part of your life, and whatever they ask you to do, you do it. You always obey when they ask you to line up nice and neat. Raise your hand if you want to speak. Have a short break here and there, and for 8 hours and so forth, they tell you what to think. So would it kill you to obey once more? Let me answer that for you. No. You see, when a corruption is forced to face a solution that is beneficial, as time passes, it weakens and fades away. Treat technological obsession like the corruption, and you are the host. You see, when you are forced to attend these human interaction activities, as time passes, your technological obsession will weaken and fade away. I know how much you do not like the words force yourselves into these human interaction activities, but treat it like taking medicine. Be honest here. most of you here do not like medicine, right? Actually, all of you do not like medicine, do you? So, okay. We are all like, I don't want to take this strange liquid because I'm sick. I want the other liquid called Coca-Cola. It tastes super nice. Let me tell you this. No matter how super nice Coke is, it is also a super killer, proving to be one of the main reasons people die from diabetes. You might be asking yourself, how is technology supposed to kill me? How is this relatable to this subject? I'm just using technology for fun, while people drink Coca-Cola for fun. And speaking on dying, research shows that technology has shortened our lifespan, 1 second shorter than a goldfish's lifespan. So let us force ourselves to take these medicines, aka human interaction activities. I know it might sound difficult and painful like falling down, but as long as we lean forward and fall down, we still make progress. So let us make our own progresses. No more looking at our cameras or Snapchats to look back or capture a precious moment. Let us spend our lives and savor these little things that we call emotion. No more taking pictures of our meals and posting on Facebook saying that hey, this is my lunch. Just eat it and savor the taste instead. Call me an idiot, but I believe in a world when we smile when our phone batteries are just 1%, because that would mean we're 1% closer to humanity. Let us not forget how we form this society. It is not through sociopathic methods or Wi-Fi's. It is through words that prove that we care, love, and respect for each other. So, let us not waste any more time. Pack your books. Time to go to school. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, I'd like to call upon 6065.
My topic is pros and cons of social media. Ladies and gentlemen, the audience, fellow speakers, and honorable judges, good morning. And today I will be giving a speech about pros and cons of social media. Now, what is social media? Social media is websites and applications that enable users to create and share content or to participate in social networking. Now, I will be explaining my pros and then my cons. Now, my first pro is that using social media there's not a big barrier that blocks you from doing it, well, except for parents or anything, but still, the entry is really low. All you have to do is just go to App Store, type the name, and then download the app. Even though you do your account, but still, the entry is pretty low. Now, my second pro is that social media is not just about marketing, because social media is also used for something else. Like, it's also used for, it's a channel that is also used for customer service, business intelligence, news, messaging, posting, good or bad. Now, my third advantage is that using social media, you can get information that you didn't know then but know now. But I don't relate that I don't say that it's either bad information or good information, because you still get both if you just read things in Instagram. Now, on to my cons. My first cons is that social media takes lots of time all the time. When I say that, I mean using social media requires a sustained effort like, if you want to get a better result, then you need to use more time, because you need to do that and then that to make the post look nice, change the picture, color, and all that stuff. Now, my second con is that the lack of control. Now, before the age of internet, before internet ever existed, the social media is a bit more like propaganda. Propaganda means like you could give someone a message and there is a restrict to how many people want to see that message and the amount of people that want to see the message. And the info is that you can allow the public access, or you don't want the public to access it, just the person that you want to send to it. Okay. But now that is not possible currently right now. Because right now, just because of the viral things that happen in the social media like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, WeChat, that doesn't have to that doesn't help with the lack of control. Then my third con is that the information from the internet, from the social media, you can get fake unreliable information. Like if you just go search it and then it says that you can have this, you can buy this phone for like 50 ringgit, but then the phone is like 3,000 before. You buy it, but then suddenly you realize it's fake. Like you can be so easily fake out of people that use social media because it doesn't have, like what I said, social media doesn't have a barrier to anything. You can do anything in social media, and there will be no one checking if what you're doing is bad, what you're doing is good. So now my fourth con is that social media can be really addictive. Now I know some people, they start using social media just because you want to see the event of something, like this News Academy event. Like they post it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and then when you want to see it after the whole event finishes, then you still have the app, and then you want to use it more because it feels really addictive. Now to conclude my speech, I would like to say that I don't think so you need to be in the social media site, because I don't think so it's a very good thing to use, and that's how I end my speech.
Alright, thank you so much. Next speaker, 7677. What's your topic?
Why should the Malaysian public transportation system be free for all Malaysians?
Alright, whenever you're ready.
Mariam was born on the streets of Kota Raya, Kuala Lumpur. Abandoned by his parents, he was raised in an orphanage and grew up to be a strong boy, but deprived of an education. Growing up, he made a living from collecting scrap materials, metal from construction sites or bins. If lucky, he would earn about 15 ringgit a day. His world was limited to the dingy, dodgy world of Kota Raya. He could never escape it, and he would never dream of getting out. How? Using the LRT? That would mean about 5 ringgit. All he would be left with was about 10 ringgit per day. Impossible. Ladies and gentlemen, not every one of us in our country is as privileged as us. There are thousands and thousands of citizens who are victims of their circumstances and need to be lifted out of their boundaries or bordered circuits. If the Malaysian public transportation system was free, imagine how you would be able to brighten up the days and lives of underprivileged individuals who were never able to get out. Imagine how you'd be able to brighten up the life of an orphan who has never been on a train ride, but now will be able to do so. Think about underprivileged young children who are deprived of opportunities because they couldn't afford transport. By subsidizing transport, I think that the Malaysian government can create a platform that's equal for all Malaysians to access, regardless of their race, stature, religion, or gender. Personally, I believe that when you make the Malaysian public transportation system free, the redistribution of wealth is strengthened. When a sustainable proportion of the sales revenue, taxes, and funds that the Malaysian government receives is put into helping the underprivileged and getting them out of their border circuits. In my opinion, the government is obligated towards its individuals who are never able to get that privilege. Just like how they subsidize healthcare. Because isn't transportation a very vital part of life again? To me, being deprived of transport is like being deprived of legs. Moving on, I'm going to talk about why when you subsidize public transportation, it directly helps us to achieve better healthcare, better environment, lesser pollution, and helps citizens lead more economical lives, and in general leads to overall better wholesome development. The more vehicles people buy, the more vehicles there are on the roads. That means there's more carbon monoxide on the roads, there's more toxic gases being released into the atmosphere. Think about Delhi, where children face respiratory issues and people can't even breathe. I don't think we're very far away. Every car you buy means you are directly contributing towards the destruction of the planet. And I think that Malaysians just generally love free things. So when you make public transport free, I think that you incentivize many Malaysians to use it, and therefore we can create more secure, sustainable environmental futures for our children and for ourselves. Aside from that, I think that subsidizing public transport can lead to citizens living more economical lives. In the current Malaysia, where prices of goods and services is skyrocketing, the prices of cars, toll, petrol is extremely high, even for your medium wage earner. I think that those people can live much better lives when a sustainable amount of their money can be channeled towards doing other things other than just transport, or can be used for more essential expenses. For an average new graduate, he earns about 2,000 to 3,000 ringgit. On average, if he or she uses public transportation, that's about 10 to 15 ringgit a day. Say 10 ringgit. And that means per month, 10 ringgit times 30 days is about 300 ringgit per month. And that's 10% out of his entire salary. I think that Malaysia can only develop and can encourage more people to use public transportation if we have it for free. If you want a Malaysia where citizens can access, where underprivileged citizens can access transportation, where we'll have better environments, more sustainable health, more sustainable economies, and people lead better lives. It's a Malaysia where public transportation is made free. It's a Malaysia where you don't have congested traffic roads, where you don't have traffic jams. If people ask me why the Malaysian public transportation system should be made free, I ask them why not. It's the government's responsibility to do so. With that.
Thank you so much. Our last speaker for this quarterfinal, I'd like to call upon 2967. I can barely see you, darling. Yes. What's your topic?
Pros and cons of afternoon school.
Whenever you're ready.
Imagine two different scenes. It's 8 a.m. in the morning and we have two 10-year-old children. One is still in dreamland thinking about all the things that makes a child happy, like iPhones, iPads, sweets and chocolates. In the second scene, another 10-year-old boy is at the desk finishing off his maths equations. Good morning everyone. My name is Gokul and I am here today to talk about the pros and the cons of afternoon school. The two scenes that I described earlier can easily happen in Malaysia because we have afternoon school and morning school. Let me introduce you to the topic by telling you what afternoon school is. Due to the too many students and less schools in Malaysia, some students come to school in the morning and some students come to school in the afternoon. Now let's focus on a few pros first. Pro number 1. Children can do their homework leisurely and they don't have to rush it all before bedtime. They can do it in their own pace in the morning. Pro number 2. The parents, it's more convenient for the parents to pick their child up after they finish school because the normal finishing time of school finishes at the normal finishing time of work for them. So this is perfect. Pro number 3. The parents won't have to worry about traffic jams because the afternoon is not really jammed up. And can you believe my mother has to wait in an hour-long queue after dropping my brother and I off? Unbelievable. If my mother just sent my brother and I to afternoon school, then she can have an extra hour to do the things that she likes, like having coffee with her friends. Pro number 4. The weather you can sleep in, and as my little pesky brother wisely said, that we can play and watch TV after we do our homework in the morning. Now, I'm finished with my pros. Let's move on to the cons. Con number 1. Some students live very far away from their school, so by the time they get back, it would be 9 p.m. at night. I'm actually fast asleep by then. Con number 2. It's inconvenient for the parents to drop off their child because they will have to stop work, drop off their child and come back, which is not convenient for them. And their bosses might not like it. Con number 3. Scientists found that it's better for students to study in the morning where they can concentrate. Con number 4. In the morning, it's cold enough and it's cool for them and it's easier to concentrate on their work compared to the afternoon. Thank you.
Right, thank you so much all for our speakers. Okay, I like the idea of having coffee with friends, by the way. Okay, for now, everybody, you will have to go back to the main hall to announce the results.